Boys, ladies, gents, welcome to a new episode of Business or Brutal. I think this is episode 6 or 5, I'm really shit at counting. This is going to be on Become Legends. As per its description in its Twitter bio, Become Legends are a competitive Fortnite team. And competitive at that. Become Legends, I believe, started in mid-2019 or towards late 2019, where I believe they started off their World Cup campaign as such by taking on players such as... Well, actually, I thought there was an awful lot more when it came to the World Cup, but I was mistaken. It was with T-Chub, who came 12th and got himself $150,000, which is a lot of money, if you didn't know already. I want to say that one of Become Legends' best flexes as regards anything that they have when you talk about esports as a whole is their next level scouting. This is 2019 we're looking at here. If you see this on my left, we see T-Chub, who World Cup time. That's what he did. That's what he did good. Hen and Flick, two prominent players now in esports. I believe Hen now on Guild Esports. I believe Flick as well. Is Flick on Guild? Am I tripping? He is. And in fact, Inas is also on Guild Esports as well. All three of those players, real heavyweight punchers in the Fortnite competitive ecosystem and doing incredibly well for each other at that. They are earning for themselves incredibly well. And you could arguably make that real argument that they were made by Become Legends. They were made by Renault and by Neurad. Before I do anything daft, I want to quickly point out the management. The management, who I want to say are solid at what they do. They are notoriously good for what they can do. We do have Renault, Sonic and Neurad, three incredibly well-known names within the competitive well, I want to say Neurad, maybe not as known. You won't really hear an awful lot from Neurad. You'll see an awful lot of Renault as regards the PR, the public relations side to BL. But all of these lads have a big part to play in the team. We have Zenko, Lori and Elix. Three well-known managers from, well, my side of Twitter is what I'll call it. The side where most people peel their eyes reading people's tweets. I noticed here then there's Seven, Tickling, Yoda and Desire. Yoda down as a content creator when, well, maybe they would have been mentioned further up here, but you get the idea. Well-known management, established management, a strong management who have been able to put together something incredible. And by something incredible, I want to show you a few things.
The facilities, and these facilities are absolutely amazing. I can't wait to show it to you. So I think let's just go and check them out. These facilities have 3 stories and they're absolutely mind-blowing. You have everything you need from gaming and esports to professional physiotherapy to food, sleeping halls. It has literally everything you need, and we will be staying here for 2 weeks and we are extremely excited to be here. So I think we're going to start with floor number 1. That is where our boot camp is and where we're sitting and playing together with our players. So let's go and check it out.
Look, I'm not going to spoil too much because that video deserves everything that it has so far. I'm going to leave a link to this video in the description if I remember. But, wow. Wow and wow. They are really investing into their players' welfare. And one thing I like to note as well, cinematography, photography, production. So much money is going into BL production, you have no idea. So that's something I really want to talk about because it's their approach which has me in genuine awe and has me thinking, wow, every single time I see them put out anything on any of their outlets. Production. Everything is so fucking cool to watch. You could sit back and watch anything to do with BL purely because of the amount of production, the editing, the effects. Everything is perfect. Everything is perfect, and it's not specifically built to the game. There's so much in real life aspect to it that it builds that community. They're doing exactly everything right. They've already got 2 good sponsors in the form of, I believe, let me just double check this here because I do not want to get this one wrong. I believe it's Seagate. Let's see, Become Legends. Well, they're powered by Altibox. Now, I believe that's an internet company in Norway. but I know that they had other partners in the form of Seagate, and there was another. Hopefully, if I can think of it at the end of my edit, I'll have it plastered somewhere to my left on your right hand side of the screen. But you get the general idea. They have got everything right. They're getting so much money for doing it all perfectly. If you are part of BL, you are part of something big. You've got to be looking forward. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how they do. But let's break it down piece by piece when we look at their media outlets. Sorry, I just got a new face mask. The order just came. It's really cool. Sorry, let me get back to what I was talking about, my bad. Sorry, let's get back to what I was actually talking about. Let's look at their socials. Right now on their Instagram, we see 11.9k followers. Maybe not the numbers they'd like to see, but in fact, let's see, when was the first time they started properly posting? Well, we see consistent posts here. What date's this? September 2020. As we move down the line, we don't see any of those basic just Fortnite clips as we move on through. This is Anaheim, I'd say. Cash Cups, the whole lot. Look at it's so different how they've continued to move on. Let's just not look too much at that, however. Let's continue looking at here. All of these faces that you can see here on your screen. Who's this here? This is Rifla. Is this Seti? Yeah, this is Seti and Artur. Or Seti or Artur. Can't be the same fucking person, Jack. But you get the idea. There's faces to the brand, builds up that community, builds interaction, and it's more likely to cause sales in the lines of jerseys, in the likes of stuff for your sponsors. That's where partners want to jump on in and fast. BL are doing it all right from the media and PR standpoint. Production at a high level, quality of content at a seriously high level. It's how most orgs should consider all of their content to be. That's why they've got, well, if I can think, that's 3 partners I can think of off the top of my head. They have one other than Seagate that I can't think of, as well as Altibox here. Altibox again, I'll just hover over. I don't know if it'll give a preview. It doesn't. They're an internet company. I think they give fiber to those Norwegian boot camps that they do have. But if you are a team like BL, now there's no going back. Pump in that quality content. Keep those high grade players there. Always provide them with the best support that you possibly can. Give them that homely feel. And all of a sudden you've got a cracking org across the board. But a quick reminder, this is just their Instagram. Let's have a look at what the other socials look like. Twitter at 23.2k. Bog standard, to say the very most. Now, boys, I'm not trying to be funny, but if you want to look at their TikTok, we see some big numbers here as we move up with of just Fortnite clips. There's got Bring Back One. We have all these thumbnails, etc. But look at what you get when you have high quality clips with high quality players. 27k views, 135k views, 50k views, 50k views, nearly 65k views, practically 40k views, 40k views, 140k views. It's what IRL content does. People don't value it enough. Your numbers skyrocket with IRL content. The fact that orgs aren't focusing on this, it fucking bewilders me. We all sit back, we all watch what BL are doing, but other teams that we see, just, they'll have the money for it, but they just won't do it. Like, put it into a cost perspective. Rent, okay, I think even if it's a gaming house, by all means. EP tried to do it, did it the wrong way, did it with creators who weren't confident with putting their face, etc. on the internet as normally as you would. What you are looking for in a creator is going to be one of those people who are happy to smile. It's, as I put it, it's that energy Grady. It's that once they start recording, someone to take the show, someone constantly smiling, someone staring down the camera, someone telling you exactly what they're doing for the duration of the video and how you can have fun in this video. BL have Reno for that, and they use him, they utilize him for that, and they let him set down that base marker. What we don't have, if I'm making the comparison with EP, because EP have got that high talent and they've used that amount of money as well. It's just about how they use content and how they let their audience perceive it, because the audience perception from a BL point of view is fucking immense. It's so good. How can you discredit what they're doing? It's incredible. All of their socials are booming, and rightfully so, because they are focusing on fucking content. Thank God. There are a few things that I'd like to say that it's not as much of a criticism as it is just a point of order. If we're going to talk about because I always talk about what I like and what I dislike about certain teams, and with BL, there's not an awful lot that I don't like. One of the things I don't like about BL was how the likes of, well, I think was it Flick was with them. They had Hen, they had Anas. They, in their head, they thought they had to move on to bigger things. Maybe they weren't offered the right amount of money. Maybe they weren't met with what they could have been. Maybe the potential could have been there to keep them. In my head, it would have been perfect for BL to have kept them, to keep them as stalwarts of the BL brand, almost like Renault, have them around just for as long. I know the likes of Hen, Anas and Flick would have been around since 2019. How can I put this best? In my head, to lose the likes of Hen, to lose the likes of Anas, to lose the likes of Flick, it's a kick in the teeth. It really is a kick in the teeth off the brand itself, because it allowed that face to be put with that logo, with that brand for so long. But they were able to maybe reinvest funds in that front into different business opportunities, I am sure. Look across the board, we see they also have their new branding, their new revamp, which I have to say to Reno or to Patrick or to anyone in management that sees it, that is very, very fucking nice. It's very, very nice. The other thing that I don't like, and one of the only things that I'll target, and it's one that I put across many other teams as a narrative, is the one-dimensionality about BL. Now, when I say the one-dimensionality, I'm thinking they're just a Fortnite team. That can be an issue across the board for a few reasons. One namely being, if Fortnite goes, very likely BL goes. How will I put this one the right way? I think I've said it for a few teams now, even for the likes of EP. I keep making the comparison to EP because I see these at a somewhat similar level as regards their backing. But it's, well, backing. I think EP have the better backing. They've made that clear. They've really put their balls on the desk and made a statement saying they had $2.5 million. But then obviously their sack shriveled and they haven't exactly done much with it. BL, how I want to think of the best way to put this. It, especially for an esport like Valorant being in its infancy, if ever there was a time, now is the time. And look, NA, because right now the EU circuit is absolutely shocking. It's abysmal. Look at the NA circuit of Valorant and really, really be ready to put money into it, because there's a few teams over there who, with even the right amount of persuasion, would be playing with that BL brand. For the same reason that Serenity, my team, I think there's a lovely logo right above me here. That's where my heart is, within Serenity. I've backed a few teams now that they've had in Valorant. The teams when they had the likes of Tony Showtime or even Justinova. Well, hopefully we'll have a new one in the near future. It is so good to have so many teams in different esports, because it's always that brand potential, that outreach, that expansion can always go places. There's very rarely negatives unless you pump in too much money without the same amount of production and content being forced into it. Alternatively, it could be a business plan on BL's end. It could just be their strategy that stay in Fortnite, get everything out of Fortnite, keep with it for as long as we possibly can, and then look elsewhere. But if I'm in BL personally, if it was BL Jack, for example, my first thought would be, why aren't we in Rocket League? Why aren't we in Valorant? Why aren't we in other esports when we can really put ourselves up for contention? Is it a funding issue? Perhaps. Is it a business strategy? Perhaps. But that's just my perception. I think it's a real opportunity that they can't let go of miss. So, boys, you know what we're about to do now?
Woo, yeah, verdict!
So, my verdict comes with my points. I'm going to show my points on my left here, as I always do. The positives for BL: booming socials, incredible content, and incredible roster. Quick, short, easy, snappy. No explanation, I've already done it. No point tripping over words I've already said before. My negatives, or my downside, I find, would be the letting go of the bigger names. So I'm going to just say maybe like Hen, Flick, and Ass, for example, here up on my left. And then alternatively, I'll also mention the fact that one-dimensional, because I personally, it's just not for me when it comes to an esports team. I think they need to have a few eggs in different baskets. That's just my perception of esports and of organizations as a whole. So my verdict for Become Legends is brutal.
You just got coconut mold.
If for even a split second you thought I actually meant brutal, I wish bad things upon you. Of course, the verdict's going to be business, man. Like, for a team like BL, the amount of money they're putting in, and for the fact they have a few partners already matching up, you can only call them a business at this point. They are full-time into it. They are hard vibing. They have it all right so far. You can't discredit BL by any means whatsoever. They are doing esports the way it should be done. Business. Other teams take note. Follow the BL plan. Follow the BL route. If that means going into one esport and focusing on it, then by all means do it. But make sure it's high quality production. Make sure it's boot camps. Make sure it's players who are happy with their face over the internet. Because that's the issue I find with a lot of players. I want to say specifically from the UK. I know a few Irish lads are reluctant somewhat to show their face, but they aren't as bad. The UK are fucking brutal. They're so self-conscious. Like, boys. A grip, please. Hopefully this video is a bit shorter than my other ones, because it should be. It should be very straightforward to point out what's good and what's bad about a team like BL, because they're very open and it's very easy to point out and poke holes through whatever you need to, even though there's not. I say poke and hole, and I'm pretty much just poking a tiger at this point, hoping that it doesn't swing back. But if they do, like, how to put it, I understand if the points I made that BL would disagree with, because it's perspective. It's just a business perspective. They could look at it they couldn't afford to hold on to Hen Flick and Nas because they were demanding too much. Maybe they couldn't afford to go into another esport because maybe it's not feasible at this moment in time. There's so many different sides to it, but that's just my perception. That's esports. That's business as a whole. Lads, if you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you've got this far in the video, be sure to type in the comments that Hosh smells. That's Hosh. Hosh smells. It'll be over my head to my left here somewhere. Put it in. You know you want to. I said I was going to do top comments, and I'm not doing Eclipse. I'm sorry. I'm not doing Eclipse the team because it'll be a 2-minute video. I might even do it in the middle of one of these shitty videos one of the days. But, yeah. Like and subscribe if you're new. Comment a team you think I should do. I'd rather do one of the higher end EU teams at that. So if you can comment a few of those, do. Maybe a Wave, maybe a Luke Boy, maybe something along those lines. I'm happy to hear. I'm all ears. I'll make comments on what I see and what I think is right and wrong. My perception of business. I'm not always right. I'm not always wrong. It's very subjective. So, look, I'll catch you boys in the next video. Peace.